Oh, hello everyone. Today I'm going to need to take my time with this topic. The topic of stolen stars. Not sure if you guys are familiar with this concept, but perhaps you are. You know, it's there in the Bible. There's a biblical story about it. But I just recently come into greater visibility of this concept. So because I was under heavy witchcraft attack, right? I began to search, and I come across this whole section of YouTube of brothers from Africa talking about stolen glory and stolen stars, and I begin to dive into it and get a little bit of understanding of it, as I was trying to figure out who the hell is stealing from me and trying to swamp destinies with me. You know what I mean? And just the other day, just last night, I come across a warfare conversation. And the brother said something in it that sparked my mind, that made me realize. I said, hold up. Okay. The black race, okay, it gave me that revelation that the black race star had been stolen. Okay, and the story is in the Bible. It talks about the birthright. There's a story of Jacob and Esau, right? And Esau stealing the birthright. So it hit me. I said, holy crap. The things that us, not just black Americans, but the black race in total, because we've all, the black race has experienced colonialism all over the globe. You know what I mean? No matter which part of the world you are in, we have come under control of these European powers, right? And I think about how all of the great teachers talked about us teaching them. The Moors going up into Spain and being there for 800 years and teaching Europeans everything that they knew. It hit me, that they had stolen something from us. I mean, we obviously see that and it's visible, but it really hit me on another level that something had been taken from us. How is it that we all agree that Africa is the richest continent on the earth, yet the optics of it looks as if it's the poorest continent and the poorest people live on that continent, right? These are the optical illusions that comes along with the star, the brightness of the continent and its people being hijacked and being stolen. How is it that black Americans are the salt, the fiber, the sugar of American nation, right? Of the American nation, yet we are still being portrayed all throughout the media as the children of Satan. Okay? How could that be? How could we have so many gifts yet still be cursed? Okay? Now, what Spirit began to reveal to me is that when your star is stolen, right, your brightness is stolen, right? And in a way, we perhaps had given our star away by going and teaching these soon to be rulers. We actually had given our birthright away. We've traded it in. We've given it away unbeknownst to us at the time. And that's a form of stealing, right? We were teaching in the hopes of allegiance, but we taught to our demise. Okay? So this Satan of the Bible actually has a physical manifestation, and it's in the form of these European powers. They are the visible Satan, though we know there is an invisible Satan as well. Okay? Their power comes from his kingdom. Okay? So what are we going to do about this with this knowledge, right? What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do to regain our glory? Because it's been taken, it's been stolen, right? There are things that we are going to need to do to regain our glory. So we know we've marched, we've been to physical war, you know, we've prayed about it. We've done a lot. We've done quite some things, but I don't think we've done enough, because I don't think people really know and realize, though people understand the events of colonialism and the events of slavery, they think it's a distant past, and they have assimilated so much, and it's, you know, assimilated so much to this system that they don't really perceive it the way that needs to be perceived for there to be some change. You know what I mean? In order for there to be change, you have to have a revelation about a thing, you know, and I don't believe that we as a people, as a race, have truly come to that revelation, you know, because we still have people who will say, well, we can't just go all out war on white folks, because there's some good white ones, and I'm included. I'm one of those. Yeah, there's some good white folks, but we ain't necessarily talking about white people. We talking about these white powers, these demonic white powers. Okay. So when I hear people say that, they really don't understand or grasp, you know, including me, you know, I'm getting further revelation on this thing. We really don't grasp the seriousness of it and the power that we have innately to change this misery that we've been in, because something has been stolen from us. When something is taken from you, you feel a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? You know, and all the things that these powers actually show to the world with the optics that they have their wealth, that belongs to you. That should make you feel some kind of way. That actually is yours. But they're out here perpetrating as if it's theirs. Now, as and if we have not had enough examples to show you them stealing, okay? With music, anything that we do, they go out and get their own to study it, and then they perfect it and they make it their own, right? We have that in the case of Eminem. We have that in the case of rock and roll, you know, the blues. All of these things started out as African art forms, but over time had been infiltrated. They have studied it and then hijacked it, okay? So these are just little examples that I'm showing you as to how this connects to the stolen star. They are thieves. We have to understand that. They are thieves, okay? Not only are they thieves, they're masters of deception, okay? So I say this to say that it's going to be a time where you really have to get that in your consciousness and understand that, and you're going to have to take action. You can't just sit back and let someone keep stealing from you while you have nothing and they have all that actually belongs to you. Okay? So solutions. We're going to really seriously have to take the power of prayer very, very seriously. Okay? This can't be a sometime thing. This can't be a weak prayer. Thank you, Lord, for today. Thank you for my blessings. You know, just the regular mundane prayer that people pray. No. You know, God talked about binding and loosing. We need the heavens to loosen our weapons that we can launch against this demonic power, right? So we need to constantly be calling forth the heavens to loose our treasures, to loose our wealth, okay? We need to constantly be binding these European powers, constantly binding them in prayer And I'm talking about pray with some umph. Whatever you need to do to get you to the point to come through in prayer and some power. If you need to think about what your ancestors went through, if you just need to think about what you see in front of you, the fuck shit we see every day amongst our people and the downtroddenness of our people because of us coming in contact with these people, then that's what you need to do. You need to be able to conjure those emotions and feelings to be able to actually bind their powers and to also loose the weaponry, the wealth that belongs to you that is bind up in the wicked high spiritual places of wickedness that's in the heavens. Okay, so we have to go from, like I said, a mundane prayer to a straight warfare prayer. Okay, and you need to call upon every force of nature. Every force of nature, you need to be calling upon it to act out your will. As a chosen, you have authority. Okay? Every tongue and every knee shall bow and declare that he or she is Lord. Okay? You are the Christ. You are the anointed one. Okay? So everything in creation bows to you. Everything in creation, you have the ability to command. Okay, we have to get out of this this axing thing. You have to get into a position of authority in commanding everything in creation to act in accordance with your will. Okay, and we want to organize this effort to take back what's ours, not in the next lifetime, but in this lifetime. So I encourage all of you to get into the midnight prayer. Okay, doesn't matter which part of the world you in, it's midnight wherever you are. It might be different times in different places, but your time is going to be midnight wherever you are. You're going to get into prayer, you know, and begin to bind things and begin to send things, begin to tell the forces to thin the veil, that the truth continue to be exposed to the world. May Satan continue to be unveiled. The wizard must be uncloaked. We need to see who this wizard is, right? We also want for us to continually ask for more light. More light is going to be more power. More light is going to constantly either push out this darkness or it's either going to expose it. So we need to constantly be calling forth for more light and more knowledge. Okay? The more knowledge we have, the more we have the ability to expose this demon, this injustice, and this thievery that's been going on. Okay? And the more that we are able to unveil it, the more people we can get to join our army and to to carry their cross, to bear their cross. There's a war going on outside, if you guys don't know. Okay? We need recruits. You know, now I understand what the church be doing when they be going out and getting people for whatever reasons, even though, I mean, we know that there hasn't been much power in the church in forever. But that concept has to be respected. We need to constantly be exposing darkness, coming out with these stories. Whatever it is, you can't be afraid to speak on it. The more we expose them, the more others will begin to walk with us and want to take up their cross and join our army. And the more of us there is, like I said, we'll eventually get to paradise. You know, we're going to be expelling this darkness. The more flashlights, the more suns, right? The more suns that there are, the more we dispel darkness. The more they have to retreat and go back into their dimension. Darkness has a dimension and a place, and it ain't here on earth. It got to go. It needs to be bound and set in a corner, right? So we can keep balance here, but it can't keep on invading our space to where it wants to take over, because we ain't going to allow that. So all the chosen, anybody with any experience or testimony against this darkness, you must come forth. And everybody who has experienced darkness, you need to continually be seeking light, seeking knowledge. That's the brighter you will shine. The the more you shine, right, that's more light power, the more dispelling. And we don't care who don't like it, right? Because we know there's those who love the light and they actually look forward to seeing you. Then there's those when you come around that the enemy can use, and they'll do all type of stuff to you to get you up out of their space because they don't want you there. They want darkness to remain in that area, okay? But I encourage you to, number one, be intelligent about things, right? But to let your light shine. Don't suppress your light for anyone at all, okay? Yeah, we're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of unveiling and revealing. So I'm just encouraging everyone to, like I said, keep coming forward with your testimonies. Keep studying and continue to fight. Most importantly, you have to fight. You can't sit on the sidelines and complain no more. If you ain't willing to do nothing about it, right? And I ain't saying die about it, because I don't plan on dying. I don't plan on going nowhere, right? Those of us, we have the throne, right? There are certain guidelines and ramifications that we have to stay within to keep our power that has been given to us, right? And not give it away. So none of you should be fearing death, right? You know, because if death is what is the will of God, then just know that you're just going to be more powerful in that realm. You're going to be a soldier in that realm and be 30 million times, 30 million times greater, but you must speak up, must speak your truth and let your light shine. Okay. Now getting back on topic about this stolen star. Okay. All people have a star. All people have a origin story, right? Which leads to the cosmos, right? There's all these different cosmic myths that's all throughout all these different lands, right? Where there's an origin. The main ones coming out of Africa is the origins of the Sirius star, the Sirius constellation in Orion, right? And those places being connected to the African people. So that was known in ancient times, and perhaps even in this time. I'm not sure, but probably not, because we are not in our rightful standing, right? So it was a time in the beginning where we were the brightest. We were the brightest, right? And we want to return to that glory. We're not meant to stay down. What goes down must come up. You know what I mean? So we have to usher in the brightness of rather I was going to say it's up to us to usher in the brightness of the Sirius star. But what's actually happening is that Sirius star is being rebirthed. So that's why we're having this awakening and this knowledge of ourselves again, right? I remember Bobby Hemmett did a video called The Return of the Cosmic Serpent, right? And that is talking about us and our ancestral powers, our celestial origins, and how that cosmic giant was actually getting ready to come back into power. So that means it's only right for us to come back into power. It's a natural cycle for us to come back to rulership, right? As the Europeans are ruling now, just think of everything that they have. That's actually supposed to be yours. We are the true rulers, right? But we would rule from a different source. They are ruling from a lesser light, right? And they're ruling from a very, just fucked up place, demonic, whatever we want to call it, right? When we come back into power, we rule on a very balanced level, a very humane level, okay? A very godly level, a very divine level. So we got work to do. We got to keep calling back our star every day. In the day prayer, when you do, I talked about the night prayer, the warfare prayer, but the day prayer, you need to be calling in your glory. Everything that belongs to you that's been taken, you need to call it back in. Your health, your mind, your beauty, your glow, your wealth, your prosperity, your wellness, your identity, most importantly. You need to call it back. You need to call it back, right? You need to be calling it back. In the nighttime prayers, you need to go into prayers of hijacking, or rather not even hijacking, just going in and taking what's yours and not asking anyone permission to go do it. Go take what belongs to you. I feel like I'm being a little redundant, so I'm going to cut the video here, but I just wanted you to get that concept in your head of our star being stolen as a race. Our star has been stolen and hijacked, and we must recover it. That is your duty. For those of you who want to know what your purpose is to regain your glory, to call it back to you, and constantly unveil this wizard, right? Unveil him so that the world sees who he is and what he has done, right? As well as you just sitting on your throne and commanding that all of creation respond to you, obey you, and act out your will. With that being said, that's just a little taste of what I wanted to put out there. I don't, God be giving me stuff, and sometimes I feel like I don't get the full grasp of it, but I still feel like he wants me to just put it out there. So I'm putting it out there. Hopefully it's enough, just a tablespoon full enough to get you thinking and get you familiar with this concept of stolen stars, okay? Not only do races steal stolen stars, but people steal stolen stars. And that's originally how I found out about this thing, was that I felt like there was this person that I was dating, or rather I was friends. I thought we were friends for a long time. And they were so interested in who I was. They had told me, I was a young girl. They were much older. And he was so curious about me going to get a reading. And I remember him saying, don't worry, the reading wasn't for you. I needed to know who you are, And I remember in this reading, the lady told me that I was, connected to the water. So I was a water goddess. And I remember telling him, like, oh, she said this, you know what I mean? And he would tell me all the time, like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what you look like or anything like that. What matters is that, we're together. That was like his thing. You know what I mean? He was just big on getting me to come to his land and, meeting with me. But his intention the whole time was, he wasn't interested, never, he was brilliant. He was brilliant, okay? He had mentioned to me before that he used to partake in like dark magic and stuff like that, but he told me he had changed and stuff. And being a young person on the path, I said okay, but it stuck in my mind, and I just always wondered why he was, he liked me so much. You know what I mean? He was just drawn to me, like after one conversation, he was just so drawn to me. And I tried to end the friendship because at first his accent was so thick I couldn't understand him. So I didn't want to continue on because I couldn't understand him. But he just kept calling. He was persistent about us having a relationship. So I was like, fuck it. I was going through a lot of rough stuff in my life at that time with my daughter's father. So, okay, I got a friend, somebody that wants to talk and actually likes me. Okay, cool. Let's keep in contact. And for the most part, he was pretty cool. But one thing I had realized over the 8 years of our relationship, right? It was a long distance relationship. We talk a couple times a year, but I valued it as a true relationship. We were, we were friends, I thought so anyway. But this person was intelligent. He had done all the reading. He was, at that time, he was far ahead of me in knowledge. You know what I mean? And after 8 years, I realized he never really told me much about himself. I was always the one doing a lot of talking and disclosing a lot of information about myself. You know what I mean? And I had realized that a couple times when things didn't kind of go my way in life, I realized that I had talked to him about mostly all my problems. He was in a different land. I didn't think he could really do anything to harm me. As I had become more spiritually aware that something was attacking me, I didn't think that he would have that kind of investment into attacking me. Like, why? We don't see each other. We not up under each other every day. Like, what investment could he have against me? But he's seen my brightness. And he was called at that time, he called himself the Third Eye Rasta. Okay? He could see. He had told me that he had the gift of seeing. He said he was born with a caul or a veil over his face. And most people that are born with a caul over their face, they are seers. They could see into the spiritual realm. So he mentioned that to me. But then over the years, I would ask him about it, and he downplayed, act like, no, he don't, his third eye ain't open no more and stuff like that. And then I noticed too, like at times I would be talking to him and he'd be quiet for very long periods of time. It was as if he had a familiar spirit talking to him, giving him information in real time about me and what I had going on and what kind of money I had going on. Because whenever he would call to, he wanted some money. You know what I mean? And at that time, I'm young. You know, I'm making good money. You know what I mean? And I want to help my friend in Jamaica. It's not like he asked me all the time, but it was like, he knew when I got money, and his spirit would be telling him what to say and what to ask me and stuff like this. You know what I mean? And he never asked for much. You know what I mean? So I didn't feel like it was something like he was using me. But no, it wasn't that he was using me. What he was doing was whenever I give him money, he was exchanging it for my destiny. When you give somebody something, you're giving them something. You can either bless someone through giving them something or curse them. So now the people that deal with dark magic, when you give them money, the money that you give them, they can curse you with it. Okay, this was something that I had no idea about. I didn't find out about this until recently. But I do remember that I had a dream recently where I was in a mall parking lot and I seen some money on the ground. And I picked up, I said, oh, some money. You know, and I went to pick it up. And I remember getting back in the car, and then like somehow the dream got a little hazy. And then all of a sudden I had like, it was like blood being withdrawn from me. And the blood that was being withdrawn from me was showing me all these sacred lands, sacred geometry and things like that. And pretty much what I equated that to was my bloodline and my birthright to have access to spiritual beings in the hierarchy. You know what I mean? Having a connection to them and sitting on the throne, having power, you know. And what happened was when I picked up that money, I realized it was fake money, and I was like, oh, this money is fake. But at that time, it was too late. I had already traded it in. The money, I took the money, and the person was taking my essence, essentially, you know. So I say that to say, not only do we have to worry about this white race who has taken something from the African race, right? We are dealing with people who are treasure hunters. They are treasure hunters. So just be mindful if you ever come across anyone. You gotta anyone who is very eager about you and very eager for you to get your chart read and to get to know who you is. You know, like I said, I was a young lady when I met him. He probably was like 10 years older than me. You know what I mean? And not even just being younger, but he was more spiritually mature than I was. You know, I was wet behind the ears. And he just seen my brightness and knew that something was on me. And there are those who go out and seek, you know what I mean, seek people with the anointing to rob it from them and to steal it from them. So you have to be mindful of the people that you come in contact with. You just got to listen to people. My problem in life has been that people will tell me who they were, but I was just in shock because growing up, I didn't think, you know, I didn't have the understanding that everybody wasn't like me. You know what I mean? I never wanted to harm nobody. That wasn't my way of thinking. And I thought we were pretty much the same, you know? So people would tell me things or do things, and I would just be in shock and be like, did they really say that to me? You know what I mean? And I would continue to befriend these people, though I had like a wall up, you know? But I would still stay in communion with them. But when people tell you who they are, you know what I mean? And or they're being used by a force, then you need to pay attention to that, and you need to cut ties with these people immediately so that you don't have to spend the remainder of your life recovering your glory, you know? So that's a message out there to you young ladies and young males, you know, who may be new into this space of consciousness and awakening and into power. There are those out there who want your power. Okay, they are coming for that extra ring. They are coming for whatever you have to add to their arsenal. There's something called witchcraft markets where they pretty much are stealing things from the anointed, God's children, and they are going into witchcraft markets selling your essence to people, right? This is how, and this is like a transference. This is how you could just see one person excelling, and then a person gets close to them, right? And the person who was excelling now becomes, his star starts to dim, and this person that stands next to him begins to go up. So you got to be careful who comes near you. They're drawing from you. Know that you have an anointing. Know that you are gifted and you are highly favored and that you are somebody. You know, of course, most of us, we know that we're somebody because, you know, the world will tell us that and we will feel it, you know, growing up. But to really understand the value of it, even at my older age, you know, I'm really coming into the full revelation of what was given to me and how to protect it and really guard it. So to the chosen out there, know that you have your gift and your talent is what God has put into you. All right. And there are people who go out and they hunt and they come to collect souls.